My girlfriend's pregnant, so I want a divorce.
We had been married for 3 years, and we finally bought our dream home. Just when we thought we'd start building a happy life together in our new house, this happened. While I was excited about our new home, I couldn't believe my husband was cheating on me behind my back. I won't let him live happily ever after with his affair partner. I'll get my revenge, no matter what it takes. My name is Sophia, and I'm 28 years old. I've been married to Brian for 3 years. From the start, both of our dreams was to buy our own home. We both worked hard, saved up, and even cleared the mortgage application. Finally, we bought our long-awaited new home. The house feels a bit too big for just the two of us, but we decided to buy it now to prepare for the future. On moving day, after we'd finished bringing in all our belongings, Brian turned to me and said,
"Whoa, we really pulled it off, didn't we, Sophia?"
"Yeah, we did. We've been through a lot, but it feels like our dream has finally come true."
There were times when I felt like giving up, but it was our love that kept us going.
Oh my gosh, stop it, I'm blushing. Even after 3 years of marriage, Brian and I could still share jokes like this. Being with him was genuinely joyful and comforting. A month after the move, lately Brian had been working late quite often. Is work keeping him busy? It became a daily routine to check in with Brian before he left for work in the morning. "Brian, are you coming home late again today?"
Yeah, probably have to work overtime.
"I see. You've been busy lately. Are you okay?"
Well, it's work. Can't help it. I'll eat dinner before I come home, so don't worry about me.
All right, just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Even though Brian was coming home late, my days were filled with juggling work and household chores. Life was hectic, but I had a cozy home and a fulfilling job. I thought I was leading a somewhat satisfying life. Yes, that was until something happened. About 6 months after moving into the new house, I decided to bring up a topic with Brian. "Hey Brian, don't you think it's about time we consider having a child?"
Well, what? A child?
"Yeah, we've been married for quite a while now, and we've even bought a house. What do you think?"
Let me think.
After a brief pause, Brian gave me a rather vague response.
Well, having a child is a blessing, you know. Do we really need to set a timeline?
"That's true, but I'm almost 30, you know."
Having a kid at 30 isn't uncommon these days. Let's just leave it to timing.
Okay, got it. I remember how much he used to say,
I want kids soon.
right after we got married. Now he seems less enthusiastic about it. Although Brian's reaction made me uneasy, I tried not to think too much about it. Then, 1 week later, I came home from work to find Brian, who's usually home after me, already there. Surprised but happy, I rushed over to Brian. "Brian, you're home early today. Let's have a quiet dinner together. I'll start cooking now, so just hang tight for a bit."
Before that, can we talk?
What's up?
Can you sit over here?
Sensing a different atmosphere than usual, I sat down as instructed, but Brian seemed hesitant to speak. Growing impatient, I subtly urged Brian. "Hey, what's going on? Is something wrong?"
I want a divorce.
"What? What did you just say?"
I'm sorry, Sophia. I know it's selfish, but I just can't go on anymore.
"What are you saying? Divorce? This is a joke, right? We even bought a house, and we were just talking about having kids." I felt my head go blank with the sudden news. "Come on, Brian, you're joking, right? Divorce isn't something to joke about."
I'm not joking, I'm serious.
"Why? Why would you suddenly say you want a divorce?"
Well,
What came out of Brian's mouth was unbelievable.
Chloe, the woman I've been seeing, is pregnant, so I want a divorce.
"Chloe? What are you talking about?"
I can't abandon Chloe. I'll take responsibility and marry her.
"I don't understand. Are you serious?"
Why would I joke about something like this? Just, please, let's end this.
I can't believe this. I never thought my husband would cheat on me, especially when we've been so close. My hopes were shattered in an instant. "Since when? How long have you been seeing her?"
About 6 months. No, maybe a year ago.
A whole year? So you've been involved with her even before we moved into this house? Tears started to fall as I struggled to accept this harsh reality. Was it some sort of nightmare? Seeing me like this, Brian awkwardly broke the silence.
I'm really sorry. It's not your fault. It's all on me. Please don't cry.
What are you talking about? How can you expect me not to cry when you drop something like this on me?
You're right.
I thought we would be happy together. I thought this home would get livelier when we have kids in the future, and now this. Each time I spoke, the tears would not stop flowing. Brian, trying to convince me, started talking in platitudes.
I still love you, Sophia, but I have to take responsibility for the child too. I thought you would understand.
Hold on, wait, do you still have feelings for me?
Of course. The only person I love is you. That hasn't changed. But we don't have kids. Shouldn't we prioritize Chloe's child in this case?
What was he talking about? If he loved me, he wouldn't have cheated in the first place, right? How can he claim to love me and still cheat, even getting the other woman pregnant? There was no way I could forgive such a convenient excuse. At that moment, a surge of anger, unlike anything I'd ever felt before, welled up inside me. Staying late at work, going in on days off. He was meeting Chloe during those times, wasn't he? Thinking back, there were signs of cheating from the beginning. I just assumed he was busy with work. I wanted to slap the me who was praising him back then. But for now, I couldn't afford to get emotional. Doing my best to calm my racing heart, I told Brian. This is all happening so fast, I can't really wrap my head around it. I need some time.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
He nodded, visibly relieved. For now, let me go back to my parents' house. I'll contact you once I've sorted out my feelings.
Yeah, sure, got it.
Bye then. I left the house without looking back. I could have really gone straight to my parents' house, but I didn't want to worry them. With no other option, I checked into a hotel. Since I had the time, I decided to do some research on divorce. Then I came across something astonishing. The guilty party can't request a divorce? This is it. This is the way to go. My spirits lifted as if the cloud of despair never existed. At the same time, a strategy came to mind. For the next few days, I stayed at the hotel and crafted my plan while searching for a reliable lawyer. During that period, I received daily texts from Brian.
I really don't want to leave you either, but it's for the child. Please forgive my selfishness. You're my only love, Sophia. I need a decision soon. I can't keep Chloe waiting, especially for the sake of the child.
Making the child his priority, he was reluctantly divorcing his beloved wife. I looked at his text with cold detachment. He was portraying himself as some tragic hero, and I simply replied, I need time to think. After a week, I returned home. Brian ran up to greet me, shouting, and assuming I had decided on the divorce, he took the liberty to proceed with the conversation.
I was worried because you didn't come back for so long, but I knew you would understand.
Sorry for the delay. I've finally sorted out my feelings.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. So let's get to the divorce paperwork right away.
I'm not getting a divorce.
What?
Brian's hand, holding the divorce papers, froze in midair.
Ah, what are you talking about, Sophia? That's a funny joke.
A joke? There's no way. I will not divorce. Not ever.
Well, why? Didn't you sort out your feelings?
I did. I took a full week to think and decided not to divorce.
What the? You can't just do that.
He started to panic, probably assuming divorce would be straightforward. He must have already talked to Chloe about remarrying, as he quickly pressed me for a response.
Please, Sophia, just divorce me right away. Look, I even got the divorce papers.
Thanks for the effort, but I have no intention of divorcing.
Don't say that. Please, I'm begging you.
Looking down at Brian, who kept apologizing profusely, I finally spoke. You know, you were the one who cheated, right, Brian?
Huh?
Right? You'll admit that, won't you? You do realize who's at fault here, don't you?
Oh, yeah, that was me.
Then that makes things simple. The guilty party can't request a divorce, you know.
What?
It's true, the guilty party can't initiate a divorce. It seemed he was unaware of that fact. Suddenly hit with unexpected information, he was at a loss for words. Sensing things had taken a terrible turn, he shifted to a more aggressive stance.
Wait a minute, I didn't know that.
Well, now you do, so we're done talking.
But this is a problem. I already plan to remarry with Chloe.
Give it up, I'm not getting a divorce.
What?
He continued to rant, but I ignored everything Brian had to say. Finally, teary-eyed, he pleaded.
Please.
To that, I opened my mouth as if I'd been waiting for this moment. Fine, if you're going to go that far, I'll divorce you.
Really? Are you serious?
I cautioned Brian, who looked at me with eyes shining in anticipation. But there's a catch.
I'll listen to whatever you say.
Here are my terms. I explained each point as if drilling it into him. Firstly, all the savings we've accumulated since we got married, plus the savings from your bachelor days, and then the money we get from selling this house. All of that will be given to me as compensation and property distribution in the divorce. Those are my terms.
What? Are you kidding me? That's impossible.
Brian's face turned beet red as he rejected the conditions. Of course he did. If Brian were to agree to these terms, he'd find himself not just broke, but shouldering a 30-year mortgage on a brand new house all by himself. I resisted the urge to smirk and said to Brian calmly, If you can't accept my terms, then no divorce.
What? Are you kidding me? No one would agree to this madness.
If it's not doable, it's fine. We just won't divorce. After that, Chloe gave Brian a real earful. He was frantically running around to law offices trying to divorce me before his child was born, but apparently he was turned down by every firm, being told, divorce initiated by the guilty party is not possible. Ultimately, Brian had no choice but to accept my terms. Worn down to the bone, Brian finally spoke to me.
I can't take it anymore. I'll agree to all the conditions. Just give me a divorce.
Well, of course, if you keep your promises, I have no problem with divorcing.
Thank you, and as you said, I'll pay everything. Please don't claim alimony from Chloe in the divorce court.
I see. I'll think about it. With that, Brian and I were officially divorced. Right after the divorce was finalized, I went ahead and claimed alimony from Chloe in the divorce court. Upon finding out, Brian called me, furious.
Hey, Sophia, what the heck is this? This isn't what we agreed on.
What do you mean, not what we agreed on? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. We had an agreement that you wouldn't claim alimony from Chloe, right?
What are you talking about? I said I'd think about it, but I never said I wouldn't claim alimony.
What the hell does that mean?
Apparently, the two of them were planning to get by on Chloe's savings for the time being. But when I claimed alimony, even those savings were completely depleted.
That's low. Don't you have any compassion?
Compassion? That's funny. To Brian's mistaken words, I responded clearly. The one who's low here is me? Let's not forget how we got here in the first place. You freaking cheated.
Even so, did you have to go this far? I've already paid you enough money.
So what? You think I should be grateful because you settled this with money? If I wanted to, I could ruin you socially. But I decided it's a waste of energy to do anything more for a lowlife like you. Get it? Never involve yourself with me again. With that, I hung up the phone and blocked all communications from Brian. Finally, I had taken my revenge on the cheater. As for that new home we bought, it seems we could only get back about 60% of the initial price. All the loan payments now fell on Brian, and he had no money to pay them off. He's borrowing from relatives left and right and still taking loans from financial institutions. In the end, it looks like he'll end up paying far more than the original mortgage. Despite having a child and increasing expenses, it seems that Brian and Chloe are fighting daily over money.
Weren't you not going to claim alimony for me in the divorce? What's going on? I told you she tricked me.
You're the one who got fooled. How useless can you be? We're going to have more expenses now with this baby. What are you going to do?
Don't blame me for this. It's not like I had a choice. This is all because you kept nagging me to get a divorce.
What? Are you saying this is my fault? You should have just pulled off a smooth divorce without getting caught.
Like that was possible. Be realistic.
You're just too incompetent.
Man, I should have never gotten a divorce in the first place.
I'm the one that should be saying that. I shouldn't have had a child with a man like you. At this point, there's no denying that they brought this upon themselves. The newborn is innocent, but for those two who committed the terrible act of cheating, it's an appropriate outcome. As for me, I've rented an apartment near my workplace and am now thoroughly enjoying my life as a single woman. I've been recognized for my accomplishments at work, and I got a raise. Though I had to give up my dream home and now have a divorce history, my life is far from over. From here on out, I want to forget all about my past married life and live a fulfilling life.